Hi guys, welcome to the Pick a Card reading for Monday. Before I start, I want to say I have a very important announcement to make at the very end of this video about twin flames. In fact, I will go ahead and put that as a separate timestamp, okay? Let's get to the reading though. Welcome to the reading for Monday, December 10th, 2018. This is the general reading for what to expect this week, just different kinds of themes and energy and, just what to expect. You know, this is only limited to this week, okay? So we're only looking at the next 7 days. And if you're watching this and it's not Monday or it's not even 2018 anymore, still watch it because there still might be something for you to learn from it, okay? I hold the idea that if you're drawn to something, then there might be something to learn from it, and that's exactly the idea behind these pick-a-card readings, okay? We use the law of attraction to find the truth, okay? So, as you notice, I have some new markers. I'm really excited about them. I have several, so I'm excited to start using those. Pile 1 is a pink butterfly. Pile 2 is the orange butterfly. Pile 3 is the green butterfly. Pile 4 is the blue butterfly. Pile 5 is the red butterfly. And pile 6 is the purple butterfly. While you guys are thinking about which pile you're going to pick, I want to go ahead and let you know that anything that you need to know about me is in the description. That includes readings and how to contact me and all of that good stuff, okay? Just look in the description if you want to learn more. But let's go ahead and get started on this reading, okay? If you have not picked which card pile that you want to pick, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, we're going to start with number 1. All right, number 1. Okay, so you're going to be experiencing a lot of success this week. Look at that. I know there's no greater goal than to love. That is a really important message. That's what's written there. You know, when we do things with love and with kindness and compassion, I've just found that things kind of fall into place a lot more quickly, okay? We also have meadow, which is vulnerability. I think that that's really interesting because when we love, we're also vulnerable because we're open to getting hurt, okay? So, you know, I'm getting some conflicting messages here when it comes to your tarot cards. This is a non-traditional deck, though. So we've got the 5. This would traditionally be the 5 of Swords, and we have conflict and defeat. I wouldn't read it that way, though. It just doesn't feel right with the other cards, because we also have new beginnings. This would be the Fool, starting something new, taking a risk, and we have the Sun, okay? We have this light, okay? So, and we have this light. So, I mean, the Sun card is the happiest card in the deck, according to most people, okay? Some people like the 2 of Cups, and people like me like the Hermit, but generally, you know, the Sun really is. It's supposed to be the best card to get because it ensures happiness, truth, and all of that great stuff. And then when you've got that paired with new beginnings, that's you know, this looks like a positive situation. When I look at this conflict and defeat, you know, as the key words here, I want to speak to both what the key words here are and also the traditional meaning of this card, because I just feel led that's what I need to discuss with you, okay? In order to start something new, something else has to end. You might be walking away from a situation that doesn't serve you anymore, and that might feel like a defeat. You might have to choose to walk away from something where you're in the right, okay? However, the 5 of Swords for me has always kind of meant more like, you know, you've got a guy and it's like he's rubbing it in. He's like rubbing in that he has, he's won the battle and he's like collecting everybody's swords, and these people, they're clearly defeated. It's like, you know, the other people, the people in the background, they're clearly defeated, but the guy is like, he's just so into himself and so prideful of what he's done, and he's just, you know, so happy that he's won the battle. And in this situation, what I would say is that goes a little bit better with all the other cards that we've gotten so far, with success, with the sun, with new beginnings. You know, I could see how somebody who's feeling very successful and very happy and starting something new could kind of gloat about that, whether they mean to or not, you know? So I would say, for most of you, this card's going to mean to just make sure that you're sensitive to what other people are going through as well, and try to stay muted about any kind of really, really, really positive thing, okay? I'm not saying not to talk. I'm just saying that, you know, or not to share. I'm just saying that you might want to remember to kind of understate it a little bit, because that might... because otherwise that could cause people to kind of feel like you're rubbing it in, okay? So for your Lenormand, we've got cutting away from routine. Okay, so that is definitely starting something new here. Okay, the routine is being cut. The tedium is being cut. Okay, you're going to be doing something different. This might be just that you're taking off from work starting this week, you know, or it could mean that you're actually starting a new thing, you know, like we have the new beginnings, and that's going to involve a little bit more creativity, a little bit more variety, and that kind of thing. You know, with this conflict and defeat, it could mean that you're walking away from something that was very tedious and repetitive and that kind of thing. So this week looks ultimately extremely positive because you've got the Sun card, okay, and you've got the Success card. So I would definitely focus on that as being the high points. And then for the low points, I would just consider... you know, it's okay. Vulnerability isn't, for me, I find vulnerability very, very, very attractive in other people. When people are willing to say, yeah, I'm not really that good at this thing, or when they're willing to open up, okay? I actually find it attractive. I'm attracted to people who aren't afraid to be vulnerable. But some people, I mean, but it's not a very fun feeling if you're out of practice of being vulnerable, right? So vulnerability can just kind of feel like something can hurt you, and it could come from any direction, that kind of thing. So those of you who are feeling really vulnerable right now, just know that that you can be a lot more calm, thinking that this week is supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be successful. And as far as the conflict and defeat or the gloating, whichever one it is for you, if you're walking away from something, it's always important to walk away from things that aren't serving you anymore. And, you know, every end ends up being a new beginning. Okay, guys? All right, I want to apologize. That was my son. He was playing something outside my door, I guess. He forgot that he's not allowed to come upstairs. Alrighty, guys. Okay, so we're going to go to pile number 2, the orange butterfly. And let's look. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Okay, we've got service, okay? So you're going to be feeling like you want to do things for other people a lot, okay? One thing that kind of warns me about this one card is that sometimes we can do too much. And I'm just going to basically leave it at that. You're also going to feel like you're being cleansed, or you're being it's almost like a baptism in Christianity. It's like you're feeling like you're being cleansed, and like, you know, maybe you're actually literally cleaning house. Maybe you're cleaning up the office or cleaning out your car, or, you know, just something like that. Maybe it's your closet. It feels like there's something that's very, very cleansing. For some of you, there's going to be something that's going to strike you about innocence, purity in general. It's going to strike you. But for most of you, it's like some kind of cleaning thing. It's a cleaning project, or maybe it's you being cleaned. Maybe you need to take a detox bath. Maybe you're going to the spa. I like that one. You know, that kind of thing. Okay, we've got triumphant success. So, and success might be in the air, because last reading for the pile number 1, I also got a success card. So, you're gonna be, I mean, you're gonna be successful, more successful in what you do than usual. How you can apply this to this week and kind of help the week be even a little bit better is by knowing that the success revolves around communication and sharing ideas. People are going to be more receptive to you. You might find if you're in a job where persuasion is needed, you might find that you're more persuasive, or that, just people are more alert and attuned to what you're saying. So this is also about clear communication. Okay, we've got stand your ground. Okay, so if there's something that goes on and you just feel like, ooh, this isn't right for me, this isn't right for whatever situation's happening, this feels wrong, that kind of thing. What this is telling you is that you are going to feel better and the outcome will be best if you stand your ground on it, even if it feels weird. Now, I'm not telling you to basically get yourself fired by standing up to your boss, for example, if you need money, that kind of thing. What I'm saying though is it's important to honor our own morals and honor our own ideas of how the world should work and try to create a world that we want to be in, right? So standing your ground, for most of you, that's going to feel right and be right. For some of you, it might not feel right to do that. I mean, you still might have that and you might want to just focus that to something else. But just know that you'll have an opportunity to stand up for something. I mean, this could be as simple as telling somebody not to bully somebody else, okay? But yeah, you're going to have an opportunity to stick up for something or stand up for something that you believe in. And this is guiding you to do it. Oh, there's going to be a kind of sense, how I was talking about the way that when you're talking to people, things are going to click a lot better because you're having better time communicating. Well, you're going to kind of have this sense of destiny with everything. Everything just kind of feels a little just synchronized, everything feels fated. Everything feels right. It feels like if you are religious, it might feel like the deity that you worship, like God, is present with you. Okay. This is a time for you. And that also, I really do want to bring up this purification card again in context with this, because when we have a sense that our life is on course, we tend to drop all of that stuff that's negative that we're telling ourselves, ooh, this isn't right, or maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, or whatever. Because when we start experiencing those synchronicities, when we start experiencing meaningful coincidence and that kind of thing, that can help us know. Those are signposts that let us know that we're doing what we're supposed to, that kind of thing. Now, some of you might not, believe that meaningful coincidences even really have meaning. That's fine. Just know that there's a sense of destiny around you guys. Okay? That you're just going to feel like something is just fated to happen this week. Alrighty, and then you've got some choices to make, okay? But what I'm getting is that the choices, ultimately you're going to be very lucky. You're going to be very fortuitous. So what I'm getting is that the choices are going to both be really good. And the choices might not just be 2. It might be 3 or 4 or 6, okay? But you're going to have a lot of choices. So what this lets me know is that you have a lot of opportunities. You have a lot of options. So this looks really good. The only thing, the high point is all of it. And the low point is standing your ground. Some of you guys might feel a little uncomfortable actually doing that. That's okay. Just try to find a way to still honor whatever belief might be violated this week. That way you're still standing your ground, but you're doing it in a different way. Okay? Because I think that it's really important to honor that which guides us like that. Okay? All right, here is pile number 3. This is what your week is going to be like. You can accomplish whatever you put your mind to. Ah, I love that. We've got discipline for you guys, okay? Oh, look. Your love life is going to be really good. We've got, you know, the keywords compassion and love. This looks really good. This looks really, really, really good. You're going to be seeing things for what they are. You're going to be seeing the truth. You're going to be seeing things clear. And I feel like when you're seeing things clear, I feel like this is more about people than about like a question mark or just knowledge in general. But when you see this clarity, okay, what you'll find is that even the stuff that's not so great that you see will still be beautiful to you. There's this sense of beauty about this card that I'm getting, okay? We're also getting accelerated motion. So really, you know, remember that, you know, once you get an idea or a vision on what you need to do, it can move really, really fast. This could be talking about your love life. It could be talking about how love is moving really fast towards you. It might actually feel like it's too fast. In that case, you're going to have to bring discipline into it and speak that truth that, you know, hey, we got to pace this a little bit. Or maybe you're wanting it to move fast. Maybe you're wanting it to move fast and the message for you is, you know, maybe you should pace yourself a little bit, you know? I mean, you know, just know that, and it could also be that discipline has to do with studying for finals, and the accelerated movement has nothing to do with the discipline. It has everything to do with something else, okay? So I just want to make sure I'm clear. Oh, we've got a mental conflict, though. One thing that I've noticed is that when our head and our heart aren't aligned, oftentimes that's what causes those kind of situations where we've got two opposing ideas or two opposing truths and we're trying to make them make sense, but it's not working, you know? So you've got black over here and you've got white over here, and they're both truly black and white, but they both have to be together. And that can't happen because then that turns to gray, right? So one thing that I've noticed about either or thinking, right, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be an either or. It can be a both and. It can be like sometimes it's black and sometimes it's white, you know? And that's just it. That's the truth, you know? So mental conflict can be resolved by being able to hold two opposing ideas in your mind and being okay with that. Or it can be resolved if it's coming from like an internal source. It can be resolved by just knowing that your feelings are not supposed to make sense. They're emotions. They are chemical reactions in our body. They're in the same way that when you feel sick, you might get a little tummy ache or you might have a headache. That's your body telling you that something's up with your body. When you are experiencing your emotions, that is your body telling you that there is some kind of attachment involved. There's something that's reaching your psyche. There's something that's moving you, okay? And that's it. That's the knowledge that you get from that. And that can't be in conflict with any thought. That is neutral, okay? What you think about that can be in resistance to it, or it can go along with it, okay? But basically, if you're in feeling some mental conflict, those are a few things that you can do to hopefully help the situation, okay? And then we've got, you might be spending a lot of time with children, or you might join a new group, okay? The child card can mean either literal children, or it can mean something new, okay? And this is a group. It's a smaller group. It's not like you're going out in public, you know, in really, really large areas. Some of you who are more introverted, this might feel like that though. But this is like kind of a small group. Like it reminds me of when I used to go to a knit night at the local library before I had kids, and I had to I had actually obligations and responsibilities and things like that, and I couldn't go. But it was just nice. There was just women of all different ages. There was one guy there too, and we just, you know, kind of chit-chatted, and there was like, none of us were really that close, but we all just kind of came together to do the same thing. So this might look like joining a group. It might look like doing something new, like volunteering for a day, doing something. Or it could just be that you're really listening to children, or it could be that you're listening to your own inner child, that kind of thing. Okay, but this is going to have an either or meaning for you guys, and just think about me saying that right after I start talking about the both and, right? All right, guys, it really looks like your week's going to be great. I don't have any worries for you guys. You're going to be fine. Okay, number 4. Those of you who picked the blue butterfly, let's look at what's going to be going on in your life right now. Wow. Okay, so we've got grief. Okay, so you might notice that you're going to lose something, or you have recently lost something and you'll still continue to feel that grief. But I don't feel like I don't feel like this grief has to do with a person. I feel like this grief has to do with like losing an object. Yeah, it feels like it has to do with losing an object. But do remember that, you know, as you know, going through a grieving process, whether it's a person or an object or a concept, okay, going through that grieving process is an important thing to get to that healing. So if you are experiencing grief right now in your life, and that is something that you're frustrated with and that you really want to move past and all of that kind of stuff, the way you get through it is by going through it. It's just like that book, Going on a Bear Hunt. It's like, you know, they come to all these different obstacles in their paths, and they always say you can't go under it, you can't go over it, you have to go through it, you know, that kind of thing, you know. And that's just like what it is with grief and just about any kind of emotions too, okay? So process it, think about it. You might even want to just confront it if that's what's going on for you. Or maybe you're going to lose your cat ring, okay? Because, you know, I don't see my cat ring over here actually, which is kind of funny because I'm talking about losing things. I was going to show you guys what it looked like. Okay. Well, anyway, I lost my cat ring recently, and my partner bought me a new one, and I love it. And I just wanted to say, you know, it could be something that seems very trivial like that. I know that most people in my life that I talked to about the cat ring thought it was really, really trivial and it wasn't that big of a deal. And I was like, but I was really attached to it. You don't understand. So anyway, that could be what happens. One thing about grief is usually it follows a loss. And you also have the spring equinox, which is rebirth. It's really interesting because when we go... No, the spring equinox is one of the 4, basically, I want to say it right. It's one of the 4 astronomical events that happen with the sun and our earth, okay? On the spring equinox, the day and the night are the exact same time, okay? And on the fall equinox, okay, it's the same deal, okay? So, and that's in September. And the spring equinox is March 21st, usually. So, just know that you're going to be balanced out, and there's going to be some kind of rebirth, okay? So while we are very soon to go through the longest day of the winter, for those of us in the northern hemisphere, actually, you know, those of you who in the southern hemisphere, gosh, I've been actually checking out the weather for the southern hemisphere because I'm probably gonna move to the southern hemisphere, and my goodness, you guys, you're having a great summer, at least from my perspective. But yeah, this is all about rebirth. This is all about, you know, equality. It's all about balance. So, and we're talking about the same week, okay? So in the same week, you're gonna be able to experience both of these things, okay? We also have temptation though, and what I found about temptation, it's like, it's okay to be a little bad sometimes, you know? It's okay to do that. It's okay to have fun, right? But, you know, there reaches a point where, you know, enough is enough. For example, if a person has become an alcoholic, they can't just have one drink. That's just not an option for them, okay? But somebody who usually doesn't drink might be able to have one drink and, you know, maybe they'll get a little buzz and all of that, right? Not using a substance, it's also, you know, for example, maybe you feel tempted to be intimate with somebody, and in some situations that's going to be fine. Maybe you want to have a one night stand and the other person's like fine with that and everything, and that's cool. Or some of you might be tempted by another person's spouse, and then that would be, you know, so just know that temptation is not always going to be something that's negative, you know, or something that's forbidden. Let's put it that way. It's not always going to be something that's forbidden. You might even be tempted to, like, for example, overspend. You might be tempted to eat more candy, you know, or whatever it is that you love to eat, and that kind of thing. We also have the Hermit card. I am so happy because that's my favorite card. This is a non-traditional tarot, so they call it Solitude. I really think that this grief and rebirth energy right here, you're going to need to go within and really kind of think about what's going on inside of you, and that's going to be your key to becoming more aware of, you know, what moves you and what drives you this week, okay? And you are going to have some really nice, you're going to get, this is money, okay? You're going to get some money soon, okay? We've got the star right next to it. Let me turn it the right side. You've got the star next to it. The star has a sense of destiny. It has a sense of direction. It can guide you. Obviously around this time of year, the star can represent icons from different religions, but it's basically saying that you're destined to get some more money. Like, there's going to be some more money coming your way, some unexpected money, and this would be this week. So I'm going to be really interested to see how many of you guys end up experiencing that, because I mean, it's just like you know, it could be like a raise too. It could be like that, but it's just money that you don't expect to get. Alrighty, guys. Hi, Group 5. Those of you who picked the red butterfly. Okay, so here's some of the things that are going on for you this week. We have got regret, okay? And what I've noticed is that regret usually is tied to wanting to undo something, wanting to make something right that wasn't right in the past, okay? So what people tend to feel regret about is something that they caused pain and they want to take that pain away, or something that they caused disruption, or something like they caused a mess. There was a mess because of a decision that was made, and then they want to clean that up, okay? Sometimes we have to accept that those feelings can't be healed by anything that you do. That mess needs to be cleaned up by somebody else. Or that just simply that happened, and now you're going to learn from it and move on. What regret does is it keeps us locked in the past. It keeps us locked in a place where we feel trapped within our own failure to be better than what we think we should be. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. You cannot expect yourself to be godlike 100% of the time, okay? Unless you're like, you know, a really cool person, right? Or a narcissist, okay? So if you're a narcissist, you know, yeah. But yeah, if you feel regret, that means you're human. That means you made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. Forgive yourself and move on. That's the best thing I can say about this, okay? So there might be some of this week for you guys, okay? It could be that somebody might invite you to some, you know, invite you somewhere, and you regret saying no because then you find out maybe your crush was there. You know, it might be something like that too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's really major. We've got Synergy with the Green Man. Okay. It's called the Earth Magic Oracle card, so I just wanted to explain why we would get this card. The Green Man is a, in fact, I have a little candle holder here with the Green Man on it. I don't know if you can see it. I got it from Ireland. He's like the spirit of nature, okay? And he's also a major deity in some Celtic religions and nature religions. But basically what this is showing you is that this is about putting two things together to make something new, okay? This is about taking, you know, two ideas and creating a new idea from that. It's synthesizing, okay? Sometimes when we come, they're basically, and this is my opinion through studying psychology and the way that the mind works, so just take it as you will, you know. Maybe psychology hasn't found other ways yet, but I've found that when people are engaged with creativity, they can either start generating new ideas or they can start synthesizing new ideas. Generally, people think about creativity as generative, okay? For me personally, I tend to be more synthesizing when I come up with new ideas. For example, I can get really creative playing covers of other people's songs on the piano, right? That's an example of synergy, okay? So, you know, keep that in mind, you know, and one idea could be from somebody else and one idea could be from yours, or you can be putting two different ideas from somebody else together and coming up with something completely original that you've come up with. But just know that, you know, you're in a place where you are, you're going to be feeling creative, okay? We do have some emotional withdrawal. What this means, though, to me, is that you're getting away from something that's causing you pain, okay? So it's actually, I mean, I feel like it's a healthy thing. For those of you who are kind of running away from your feelings, it's fine to get away from that, but you also have to process them. Think about them. You don't have to engage with them. You don't have to necessarily feel them more, but you can think, okay, so when's another time where I felt this? When do other people feel this? What do other people do when they're in this situation? How am I different? What are my options? You know, what are my limitations? That kind of thing. Just really just think about it, okay? Bring that heart feeling up to the head, so that it's not as dominant, and you'll start to work through it, okay? And then we also have a firm foundation. I think that the emotional withdrawal and the firm foundation is also connected, because you cannot get something, you can't make something stronger if it doesn't have a foundation that is based on emotional health. The firm foundation might be that maybe you are a student and you're, you know, trying to come up with an experiment or a thesis or something like that, and you need to make sure that it's the foundation of that is in, let's say, the classical way that your field does things, right? Or that, you know, for example, for a psychology major, they might want to make certain that their foundation is firmly set in behaviorism. And for a engineer, you might want to make sure that your firm foundation is based on a certain mathematical equation that creates a certain design, okay? And then we've got triumphs. So you're going to be successful in what you do. You're going to feel like you do. I feel like this is actually kind of left over from last week. Like, you're going to be triumphant in something you kind of put into motion last week. So kind of keep that in mind. You know, that's great. And then we've got, okay, you're going to get a message about a contract. This might be in person, actually. Usually this card, there are two cards in this Lenormand deck that indicate communication. One of them is this one, which indicates a personal communication that's like maybe over the phone or maybe in person, like over the phone, like voice, okay? That kind of thing. And then you've got the letter, which tends to be more electronic and less personal. But what's important about it is that it involves some kind of contract, which would be good for you. So that might actually be the triumph for some of you. Some of you might be offered a job. Some of you might be offered, some of you guys might be waiting for something to click into place. And you're going to get that confirmation this week, okay? So it looks like the negative points are the regret and the emotional withdrawal. Emotional withdrawal is healthy though, in most cases. And then, you've got a lot of positive points too. We've got triumph, we've got creative endeavor, we've got building firm foundations, which is smart. And then you've got a positive message. So you guys are going to have a pretty good week, okay? All right, guys. Pile number 6. Those of you who picked the purple butterfly. Let's look at what's going on with you. Oh, you've got relationships. Okay, so right now you're going to be focused. Like this week is going to be more focused on human interaction. Okay, this can be family relationships. It can be love relationships. It can be relationships at work. Any kind of relationships. Okay, I just want to make sure that that's clear. It can even be a relationship with somebody that you don't even know. Okay, you're going to find that things are going to be kind of effortless as well. You're not going to either that or you're going to just have this week's going to be really relaxing. Like you don't have to put a whole lot of effort into things. In my mind, the images that are coming up are like, oh, I'm sitting back in a really recliner and I'm reading and I've got like a pile of books and they're all like really quick reads and I'm just reading them and I'm laughing because one of them's Kurt Vonnegut and, that would be an effortless week for me, okay? So, yeah, there is going to be some kind of feeling of, lightness this week, okay? We also have the waiting game, so you might, if something's being delayed, this is just telling you it's supposed to be delayed, something better is going to be coming later on. This could also be like looking, this could be like looking to open a door somewhere. Like this could be an actual physical thing, like a distance thing. So yeah, just keep in mind that there might be some kind of distance between you and a goal or you and something you need. And you have to wait because that distance is there. And it just creates a gulf that by default makes you have to wait. Partnerships and alliances, okay? So we've got this relationship theme coming up again here. All right. And then we've got, oh, this is a world card. So yeah, that physical, it might actually be a physical distance. You might have family overseas. You might, have a long distance relationship. You might, be waiting to find out if you can travel, that kind of thing. The world usually is a very good card to get because it encompasses like you have everything, and when you have everything, life does get pretty effortless, right? So when you, as you're experiencing this week, make sure that you're noticing what you do have, because I think especially around this time of year, a lot of people lose sight of what they do have in their lives, and it's so important to be thankful for that. Because we have so much. If you're able to watch this video, you have a lot, okay? You have a lot more than most people do, okay? And, be thankful for that and use that for good, okay? Try to be a positive force in the world, because this is also showing me that you can affect change on a global level, okay? No pressure. And then this is a really interesting combination, because we've got our relationships and partnerships and alliances, and then we've got the coffin, and then we've got love, okay? And it's pretty clear what that means. Usually this is like either a death or the ending of whatever the card is after it, which is love, okay? That, that's kind of unsettling. And then we've got, if you read it the other way, we've got love ends or love dies. One thing that you might notice, maybe somebody close to you is going to break up. because it really doesn't feel like it touches you specifically. It feels like it's more radiating out from someone else. Some of you guys that are watching this are going to go through some kind of breakup. It might be a positive thing. It might be that this is actually what you've been waiting to do, and now you can start a new relationship. Some of you guys, though, maybe somebody close to you will get divorced, or they'll break up, or there'll be a separation, that kind of thing. Somebody might lose their spouse, because this is a death card, okay? Somebody might lose their spouse or lose their partner in some kind of tragedy. I want to say don't let this bother you too much, but at the same time, I feel like I can't really say that, because it's whatever it is, it's gonna affect you somehow. So I'm really interested to figure out. I mean, I'm really interested in what this ends up looking like for some of you guys. I feel led to say this, and I'm gonna feel really stupid when this doesn't happen. But I feel strongly led to say that this could be like a celebrity breakup or a celebrity death, okay? So I do want to mention that as well. Some celebrities, you know, they really reach a lot of people, you know? So it could be something like that. But anyway, so we've got, you've got some pretty good stuff going on, though. We've got the relationships, we've got that things are going to be kind of chill, it's going to be really relaxed, you're making partnerships and alliances, you've got the world and the waiting game. Again, this can also talk about distance too, because, you know, time is a unit of measurement, and so it's like something that takes something that takes long is also something that's far away, right? So it could be distance as well. So guys, try to focus on the positive here, and just be aware that this energy is around, okay? Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this plays out this week. Alrighty? Okay. First, I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for watching to the end of my video. I really, really appreciate all of your likes and subscribes and comments. I enjoy reading them, and I do read them. I can't respond to every one of them. I can say that I have one of my best friends is my communications manager, and what he does is he goes through and he makes certain that every single reading request is put into my document that has my list of the reading requests, okay? So if I don't respond directly to your reading request, I have gotten it, and I will consider it, okay? So I've been asked a lot about twin flame relationships, and as some of you might know, I even read with this twin flame oracle deck, okay? And twin flames, for those of you who don't know, it's a story, or a belief that our souls are split in half into the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and that our souls will incarnate sometimes together, and that physical incarnation, when you meet a person who is your twin flame, you have a very, very unique relationship with that person. Just like twin flames, we also have anamkaras, which is soul friend. We also have karmic relationships, which is a relationship that you come in because you have some kind of unfinished business, maybe from a past life. We've got the soulmates, and there's also one called a heart friend. There's kindred spirits. That's another one that we hear about. And I basically, what I want to say about this is that I'm going to be doing a video kind of Q&A thing where I'll go into more detail. But for now, I just want to let you guys know that I do not currently and do not anticipate ever confirming or denying a twin flame relationship, in the same way that I will not confirm or deny a soulmate relationship, a karmic relationship, or anything else like that. We all have our own definitions for that kind of thing. I have my own personal definition for each one of these experience, okay? And I'm not saying that twin flames don't exist, but I'm also not saying that they do, okay? Everybody has to come to their own truth. And when it comes to something that is as huge as a soul contract between two souls, okay, that is something that you've got to find for yourself. And the best way I can say it is that if you are in a twin flame relationship, it will be obvious to you. It will make itself known, okay? If you're in a soulmate relationship, that will also make itself known. It is very obvious when we enter into a kind of magical, kind of destined relationship with someone, okay? Chances are, actually, now I know a lot of people feel like they need confirmation, but chances are is if you ask, it's probably not a twin flame. It's probably a soulmate. A lot of people get the definition of twin flame and soulmate like kind of mixed up. But I'm not going to talk about definitions. I'm not going to talk about what they are and what they aren't, and I'm not going to be a reader that is going to push any of my beliefs on you guys. In the same way, I want you guys to respect that I have certain things that I believe. And one of my beliefs is that the farthest I can go with you guys as far as confirming any kind of thing like this is that when I do private readings, I can feel whether or not something is on a soul level. And I will say that there is a soul connection. And that's the closest that I'll get, okay? You have to figure out what that soul connection means, okay? So I don't mean to sound so harsh, okay, or anything like that. It's just absolutely devastating when someone confirms something like that and someone ends up stuck in a relationship that doesn't move forward or doesn't work or is codependent and all of that because they're holding on to this definition that might not be the actual definition of what that thing is. So belief is a very powerful thing. It's very powerful, and I don't want to mess with that when it comes to personal relationships. It's just, there's just too much at stake for me to do that. So I really hope you guys understand that. And again, I'm going to actually do a kind of FAQ and get a little bit more into detail on this. I put this at the end of my video because I know that not everybody's going to want to know what my opinions or thoughts or policies are on soulmates and twin flames and that kind of thing. For some people, it'll pop into my head and it has to feel really right for me to say something like that. So basically, I do not confirm or deny twin flame relationships. I don't confirm or deny soulmate relationships, karmic relationships, kindred spirits, anything like that. The best that I can say is that there's some kind of soul connection, okay? And that's my preferred way of describing it. So can you keep that in mind, guys? And I'll see you tomorrow with another pick a card reading.